He'll sent on their way in the San Rafael. Apollo bounced very quickly and shoots to the early lead. Best Pal gets up second. Denard is in third. Excavate pulling his way through down at the rail, and Main Minister at the back. 4 lengths would cover the lot. They head past the 7/8 pole, and Kent DeSormo sets the pace on Apollo. Denard is getting up to race in second. Best Pal scraping paint third, 2 off them. Excavate is fairly ranked. He's pulling hard against Jose Santos. Main Minister outside of him. 3 lengths would cover the whole San Rafael field. Onto the backstretch they go, and Apollo out here leads them by nearly 2. Denard is racing second. Excavate has now pulled his way up to race in third. Best Pal at the rail is 4 lengths off that leader. Main Minister outside of him. They head to the half-mile pole, and Apollo now flying out here. Apollo's opening up on them. He leads it by 4. Best Pal comes through down at the rail. Then it's Denard. Excavate now has 6 lengths to make up, and Main Minister outside of him. 3/8 to go, and suddenly Apollo now. Best Pal is going up to take him on at the rail. Denard is right there. Excavate has now been asked to run. He's got 7 to make up. Main Minister on the outside of him. 1/4 mile to go. Apollo is holding on to it. Best Pal comes through on the inside to take him on. Denard is hard ridden third. They come to the 8 pole, and it's Best Pal down at the rail. Apollo alongside of him, and Denard chasing them gamely on the outside. Best Pal, Apollo, and Denard come for the wire together. Denard and Chris McCarron on the outside coming flying. Apollo and Kent DeSormo. They hit the wire at the bottom of the nose. Denard or Apollo. Best Pal right there in.
A game effort for the first 3 finishers, with Denard proving narrowly best despite lugging in late, and that appeared to make it difficult for Chris McCarron to use the whip as he would have liked, but Denard got it done anyway. Denard was bred and is owned by Alan Paulson, who also owns and stands the sire Strawberry Road at his Brookside farm. Well, let's get an insight now into the San Rafael and its effect on the 3-year-old picture in California. From the Racing Times, as we join Editor-in-Chief Stephen Christ.
The San Rafael drew an unusually strong field for an early season Derby prep this year, with 4 legitimate Classics prospects in a field of 5. When the dust had settled, 3 of them were still looking pretty good, but 1 was a complete question mark. Apollo, who was shooting for his 5th victory without a defeat, got a pretty easy lead in here, as Denard chased him from the outside and Best Pal chased him from the rail. Best Pal, who was making his first start of the season, went up after the leader on the far turn and turned it into a horse race. But then in the final yards, it was Denard on the outside who finally straightened out and got up by just a nose under Chris McCarron. Denard, a Strawberry Road colt, came out of the race really looking the best. He figures to handle additional distance in the weeks to come, and he still has plenty of room to improve. It's hard to see Apollo getting 1 1/4 miles when he couldn't last at 1 1/16 miles with an easy lead, but he's obviously a good colt. Best Pal never seems to get any respect, but this was a very, very good effort for a season debut, and he has nowhere to go but up. As for Excavate, who finished dead last, he obviously didn't fire, and he looked uncomfortable almost every step of the way. But it's unclear that this colt ever really deserved the rave notices he was getting for having won nothing more than a maiden race. He deserves another chance, but he's obviously not a super horse.
Thank you very much, Stephen. Now let's join our Mike Willman in California. He talked to the connections of the winning Denard, jockey Chris McCarron, and trainer Dick Lundy.
He broke really good today and got into the first turn without any difficulty whatsoever, laid second all the way, and finished very strong on a track that was termed good, but it was anything but good. It was very slow and dead. It was much, much better than it was the last 2 days. We got to commend Steve Wood for doing a great job on it. However, it still was dead. So his final time should not be indicative of what a great race it was.
Where do we go from here, right into the Santa Anita Derby?
We're going to talk that over, probably. You know, this horse trains really, really well. I want to see how he comes out of this race, because here again, this was another tough race for him. I don't want to get past the Santa Anita Derby and have a tired horse, so we're going to talk that over at length.
Mr. Paulson catching that Derby fever?
He's caught it already, and I'm sure today that it's rekindled the fire.